I never knew my grandfather. He passed before I was born. The first memory I have of him being described to me was by my father.
He was enthusiastic about it because he loved doing it. He was very influential in a lot of young people's lives.
He was a math teacher and a coach. And so the teaching and the coaching and reaching young men and women was present early in my dad's life because of his father, and was present in my life because of my father.
Kevin's father was an offensive coordinator in the NFL, head coach as well in the NFL. So Kevin comes from a great lineage. He understands what it takes to be a good coach. I mean, he's seen it, he's been raised in it.
I remember when he came in as a true freshman, we kind of knew that he knew the game of football probably a little bit better and differently than we did when we were raised. And so he has high expectations of his football IQ, and he had a great football IQ.
We were really close in the year that he was here. And then I graduated and he transferred to University of Hawaii.
And then it didn't work out on the football field.
It was frustrating because that was my dream, was to start and play, and then hopefully eventually get to the NFL level. But if nothing else, to play Division I football and be the starter for at least 2 years was always my goal.
And so it moved and transitioned to baseball.
Not having played a ton in baseball was then also very frustrating. And so it was end of freshman year, then into sophomore year, and now I'm not the starter or starting in either sport. It took its toll on me. And so I had to really evaluate, what was important in my life and, where I was heading.
Sometimes it takes failure and disappointment to really learn, right? And grasp what your true calling is. And again, we all want to play in the NFL forever, or in the major leagues, but it doesn't happen all the time. The trick is to understand what you love and what your passion is, and then to move forward from that.
What I kept falling back on was how I was impacted in a positive way by some of my coaches growing up. Coaches who make an impact on people's lives are the guys that care about you. I started to realize that's what I want to do.
And he said, "Mom, sit down." I'm like, okay. And he was afraid to tell me that he wanted to be a coach because he knew all the trials and tribulations of the moves and the jobs and getting a job and keeping a job and all this stuff. So by the time he told me what it was he wanted to tell me, that he wanted to be a coach, I was like, that's okay. You just have to go forward and do your best, be honest, be fair, and go on with life.
How we handle when things aren't the best is I bet on myself. And when he said that, as his spouse, I bet on him too. Just those words took a lot of fear out of what can happen, because I know what he's capable of. He knows what he's capable of. We have to trust the right opportunities are gonna come. And they do, and they will, and maybe not in a timeline that we would want, because you can't plan everything out in this industry. But I trust him, and he trusts himself.
I've always wanted to have some separation from my dad. I didn't want people to think that I got into any position because of who he was. I wanted to have it on my own merit. But once I was into the coaching profession and I started to hear the stories about who he was as a man in the coaching profession, how he treated the custodians, the kitchen staff, the equipment guys, the video guys, I knew that I wanted to coach with him before he retired. So I was fortunate enough to be able to do that.
It was fun to watch him grow. It's an incredible experience. It's a nice way to pay back your family for all the sacrifices they've had and made for you, to see them be part of it. And now to have your son an integral part of it was incredibly special and unique.
Very special.
Being part of an organization that won a Super Bowl was an incredibly special experience, as a lot of people would expect. What I thought was special about it was our team early on in the season, we weren't clicking, we weren't connecting. Infighting, some guys talking smack about some other guys a little bit, just enough that it became a little bit of an issue. It wasn't like it was a huge issue, but it was enough. But the players addressed the issues and made sure everything was on the table, and they fixed the problems. And watching our team come together, continue to believe in each other and play for each other, and it was a pretty special thing to be a part of. That's what you need to have, in my opinion, to win the Super Bowl. It has to be a special collection and place in time for those guys to come together like that. I don't think you win it on talent alone. I don't think you win it on coaching alone. I think it's those guys truly believing and coming together. That's what happened to us at the Giants. So we beat Tom Brady and the Patriots.
I don't know if he was supposed to be here to play quarterback. I think maybe he was just supposed to be here to get that experience and have that memory of this is a place that you can raise a family and coach football at the same time and do it at a high level. And so when the opportunity to get him came, it was easy for us to go after him.
Feels great to be back at BYU, but what really truly makes it special is the people I'm with.
I speak for everyone on our staff that we all learned a lot from him this spring, and I know his players did too.
He's done such an incredible job of just understanding, like, hey, we're building from what we've had in the past, and we'll just keep on moving forward because of it.
You can see how he commands his players in a way that he's seen a lot of football and he's been experienced in the way that he's done things.
He's coached receivers, he's coached tight ends, he's a former quarterback, he has a command of the running game, he's command of a passing game. I think he can observe a specific individual guy and say, here's what he needs to get better at. And I'm not sure everybody can do that.
It's overcoming adversity and understanding that you just don't give up. You continue to grow. You continue to get better. And once that becomes part of your life and how you approach your life, you're going to be successful.
I've never seen someone work as hard. His depth of knowledge is so deep that even just listening to him and his dad talk about football, it's truly like another language. And to hear them talk and to see how much they know, coupled with passion, coupled with experience, to not bet on a person like that who you also know has a really beautiful heart, how do you not? I mean, that's a person I'd want on my team.